What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks, presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over scoresandodds.com, where you got picks from me, Beansy, Dino, all the greats. Plus, you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best lines are at. And most importantly, get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord to get in there before the lines end up moving. Just threw it into chat there. We just got some baseball today. Not going to be a terribly long show, but it's kind of what happens during baseball season. We'll start off with a few picks that I made last night. The lines have moved. One of the best times to get lines is going to be the night before, around 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 to 2 o'clock Eastern time. I mean, we'll just look at the ones I have. Hunter Green under 6.5 strikeouts. I got it -125. It's all the way down to 5.5 plus 112 on the under. There is the best line. So this is just kind of a spot where Hunter Green playing in Coors, like, dude has solid stuff, but he's been under this line probably half the time. So I rolled with it. Thor under 4.5 strikeouts -167. I know I'm paying a lot of juice there, but it's because he's going up against Minnesota. He hasn't been striking out guys a ton. Again, this line's already down at 3.5. I'd still possibly hit the under at 3.5, but probably stay away. Brad Keller under 3.5 strikeouts. I don't think this one has moved too much. Brad Keller -125. Yeah, I got -113. Keller is garbage right now. He is absolute garbage. He is facing the Padres. The dude has an 18% walk rate so far on the season, 16.3% strikeout rate. Going up against the Padres, look at all these walks versus righties. Going back to the beginning of last season, 10% walk rate in this lineup. Granted, Tatis and Sullivan should be higher than that, so it's not really accounting that just because not a huge sample size with either of them. Tatis, he walks a lot more. It's just a bad overall spot, and he's been just hot garbage. He's already hit this under at over a 50% clip. Again, it's moved to -125, and I'd still take it at that. A lot of other sites, -134. I'd still take it up to -130, to be honest. Keller, not great right now. Has no control and gets a tough matchup versus the Padres. We have Pablo Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts. Let's see what that's sitting at. I got it at, where did I get it at? I got it at -135. Line's at -155. That's a little bit tougher to stomach there. Pablo Lopez, tough matchup versus Dodgers. Real tough matchup. Dodgers, one of the lower strikeout rate teams in the league. They are one of the highest walk rate. I believe they are the highest walk rate team in the league. Lopez striking out righties at a much, much higher clip. This year, he's been absolutely fantastic. 34 and 26%, but struggles versus walking lefties. You have Freeman in the lineup. You have Muncy in the lineup. Outman's a solid bat. You got Hayward swinging the bat great. All those guys walk at a very high clip too. So Lopez is really going to struggle here, in my opinion. 9.2% walk rate, under 20% strikeout rate versus lefties. And it's not going to surprise me if we see another lefty in there in this spot, just because of how much Lopez has struggled versus them. So really tough matchup here. Again, if you got it at -135, great. If you can get it -155, I don't hate it. I wouldn't bet at -185 or -170, maybe -160. Maybe the under at 5.5 at plus 126. He's just going to struggle. I know he's been crushing the over on this line. I get that. But, yeah, it's just that spot. A couple home run bets. We got Grichuk to hit home run. We'll take out Yoshi there. Yoshi's not in the lineup today. So it's going to be no bet, even if he pinch hits. So we're on Bet 365. Any site where you can bet the over or the under on home runs, there will be a no bet if you end up if he ends up not starting. So it's a no bet. Someone said Grichuk lines have moved drastically. You can still get a plus 625 over at Caesars if you don't have Bet 365. But Grichuk Solid overall power bat. Not great, not terrible. 25 to 30 home run a year type guy. He's playing over in Coors, getting a match versus Green. Green really struggles with power to righties. 216 ISO, 44% fly ball rate since the beginning last year, 38.4% hard contact rate, 1.8 home runs per 9 going up against righties. And this is Coors. I don't think the weather is great today. Looked at it earlier. 64 degrees outside. Yeah, not fantastic for hitting, but still, it's Coors. That's pretty much it. And then Rutzman to hit a home run plus 1075 over at Bet 365. Gets a match versus Ohtani. Ohtani, solid pitcher, but gives right around average home runs per 9, 1.1 going up to lefties. Rutzman way better from the left side of the plate. Only 2 home runs in his career from the right side. I think 17 from the left side. Solid 219 ISO. Solid fly ball rate. Solid hard contact rate. Getting plus 1075 on this is just silly. I mean, he puts the ball in play a lot. 15.9% K rate going up against righties. Like, the ball's going to be put in play. The ball's likely going to be hit hard. Ohtani gives up a decent amount of hard contact to lefties, 35.5% since the beginning of last season. Just a bad overall line at plus 1075. Patrick Corbin under 3.5 strikeouts, plus 120 over at Betfair. I think it's plus 125 over at BetMGM. Corbin has not been great this season. Plus 125 over at BetMGM. Corbin has not been great. Strikeout rate versus righty has been abysmal this season, sitting at 14.7%. Gets a matchup versus a low strikeout Mets team. They're going to have 7 righties in the lineup there. The 2 lefties, Nimmo, 18.3% K rate versus lefties, and McNeil, 9.8% K rate going up against lefties. So there's not a lot of strikeouts in this lineup. Corbin has hit the under at this number over 50% of the time this season. We're getting plus odds at plus 125. Everything's lining up here. Really like this bet. George Kirby over 17.5 outs. Dude has hit the under on this one time this season. One time this entire season. Looks like the Boston lineup should be out now. And so I know that Yoshi's not in the lineup. Kirby, he's been good. He's not a big walk guy, sitting at just 3.5%. They rolled out a lot of lefties, which he's still very, very good. Probably better against. I mean, the guy has solid changeup, solid curveball. Both of those are reverse splits pitches. The guy throws strikes. There's not a ton of walks in this lineup. It's not a great lineup. It is a great ballpark for hitting. But guys had 7, 8.1 innings over the last 3 starts. He's had 6+ in every single game of the season outside of the opener. I just really like him to go over this. You can get it at minus 110 at Betfred or minus 115, whatever it was. Yeah, minus 115. Setting at minus 140 most other spots, I still really like it at minus 140. I know that there's decent hitting weather, and I know that there's a high total, but the guy has been super good this season and super efficient. Last bet, Tanner Houck, under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 110 over at Betfred. This might have just been now you can still get minus 110 over at MGM. Houck, this is kind of a projections play. Shout out to the bat. Really like the under. Seattle, solid team, but I'm mostly going off the bat with this one. And that's it. That's the show. And go check out scoresandodds.com. I'm out of here. Play it, kids!